Light and peace, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the OahspeCollegeUniversity. Lesson for today is the age of our planet. How old is this planet? Now, if you go to Google, YouTube, you have millions of people, viewers, looking for an answer about this question. At first, I did not want to share this topic or discuss this issue because as an individual, what does the age of a planet have to do with my spiritual growth? I can understand, if you want to know how old humans are on this earth, on this planet, which I addressed already. If you go to my previous video, the age of humans, in which we actually described that we are 78,000 years old. So 78,000 years ago, humans were created. And then a question was posed to me in the form of a challenge, saying that, well, if OahspeCollegeUniversity has all this information, it should have the age of the planet. Two answers that I gave was that first, I'm not a captain of planet, and OahspeCollegeUniversity is not a captain of planets either, because when a planet evolves, when it gets to a certain stage, that planet, dissipate. It goes through ages. So after that, that planet no longer exists no more. So why am I concerned about that? But, so I want you to give a proper answer to the challenger, in which I've invited, to subscribe to my YouTube video and you see me post this answer. Now, to give a proper answer, did OahspeCollegeUniversity give how old our planet is, planet Earth? A clear understanding today is that it gave a numbers of millions. It never specified or dictated saying that our planet is 8 million years old or 17,000 or 17 billion years old. It did not give the exact figure. So just to be clear, this is just to extract the information from OahspeCollegeUniversity, telling you this is what OahspeCollegeUniversity says about our planet. There've been a debate where some people are saying that, it looks like, our planet is 9 million years old. It could be 12 million years old. My teaching as a teacher or student is for you to figure that out, all right? Because to me, as an individual, as a human, I'm only concerned about how old we humans are. And OahspeCollegeUniversity gave that figure. I'm not a planet. See, I'm a human, so I have the right to know how old we humans are. And OahspeCollegeUniversity gave me that figure. But as far as planet goes, to be clear, the real answer is unknown. Because you have the scientists and archaeologists giving you 200 billion years old, 20 billion years old, using foci or using the geographical location to determine. Those are, in plain English, just that's nonsense. We see our planet go through stages of destruction. So how can you come up with that number? In any case, a God who has evolved beyond our planet, we know exactly. But did the OahspeCollegeUniversity give us a clue? Yeah, they did give us a clue. But did they give us an exact number, exact figure? No, they did not. They did not say 20 million years old. They did not say 9 billion years old. OahspeCollegeUniversity did not give a figure, just to be clear. But OahspeCollegeUniversity did talk about the creation of our planet. It talks about the orbit of our planet Earth around the sun. It talks about the orbit of our planet around the sun. And OahspeCollegeUniversity does come up with some type of record saying that this record it is. But did OahspeCollegeUniversity clearly say that, this is how old our planet is? The answer is no. And I know after this video, I'm gonna have a lot of faithist readers, OahspeCollegeUniversity readers who are gonna come up with line of question, and I'm welcome to that. But if you cannot give me the figure from OahspeC exactly, then don't even bother. I need somebody to tell me in chapter, which chapter does OahspeC give the figure. And OahspeC doesn't give the figure. What it does give is it gives you the clue for you to get the clear reading of it and to get an understanding. Now, to differentiate, did OahspeC give you the humans information? They gave you timelines to come up with that calculation. And did OahspeC give us timelines or age stages to come up with how old our planet is? No, it doesn't. So I'm open-minded. I want someone to say to me, "Oh, Owame, if you go to the book of Cosmogony in OahspeC does say this." Yeah, I welcome chapters. I welcome verses. I'm a student and I'm a teacher at the same time, so I do welcome this. I'll be waiting for someone, an OahspeC reader or some type of scientist to tell me, to give me the figure how they came up with the answer. For my years of reading the OahspeC does talk about the creation of our Earth, creation of our planet. It gives you the orbit of the planet around the sun. It does not give an exact number, exact figure of how old this planet is. So I'm just gonna go to a couple of verses and just give you some understanding of what OahspeC does say. The book of Ab, chapter 2, verse 8, verse 8 says, "Proclaim my voice in the Orion fields of Amal and Wawa, and let the clear tongue shepherds of Zoais, Berg, Gob, and Domfariana fly with all speed in the road of Azariah, where the red stars vortex first gathered up its nebula." So there you go. So OahspeC describes our planet as a star, and the name of that star is called the red star. And it says here, where the red star's vortex first gathered up its nebula millions of years ago. You see that? And on the way, say Jehovah has decreed a pruning knife to the traveling world. You see? So verse 8 says, the vortex of the red star, the vortex of our first planet, was gathered up millions of years ago. You see, it says millions of years ago. OahspeC does not give exactly if it was 20 million years ago, 400 million years ago. It doesn't give. If OahspeC have given us that figure, we could come up with a timeline, because that would have helped, because we know when Hap came to our world, so we could have used that number to determine. But in this case, OahspeC doesn't give the figure. It only said millions of years ago. So as a mathematician, a student who studied mathematics in school, going through school, everybody did math. And if you don't know how to use math, just go on Google or go to YouTube. They have softwares now. It doesn't give. If this verse 8 had given me a figure saying that 200 million years ago is when the red star's vortex was gathered, how could it come up with an answer and give you an estimated time? But it doesn't in this case. So I'm going to go to the book of Jehovah, chapter 7, verse 2. And in verse 2, book of Jehovah, chapter 7, verse 2, and verse 2 states, "And Jehovah caused the earth, which is our planet, and the family of the sun to travel in an orbit." Right? So the family of the sun, they're talking about the other planets, which you guys are familiar with, Saturn, Mercury, Venus, and so on. And it says, "And the family of the sun to travel in an orbit, the circuit of which requires of them 4,700,000 years." So OahspeC here is stating that the earth travels around the sun, and when it makes a complete orbit, it takes it 4,700,000 years, and it places it in the line of orbit at a distance of 3,000 years Etherian light, and which places, as the earth passes through, angels from second heaven come into his corporeal presence. You see there? They're saying angels from second heaven. Second heaven here, they're talking about the Etherian world. and they come into his imperial presence as ambassadors. They come in companies of hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s, and these are called the Ethereal hosts of the Most High. See here, OahspeCollegeUniversity is telling you that in order for our world to complete one orbit, it takes 4,700,000 years. You see? Now, OahspeCollegeUniversity doesn't give you, right after, there's no verses here after that saying, oh, we've completed, but it does give you some type of clue in which I'm going to describe in my next chapter. So then, if it tells you, if this book of Jehovah chapter 7 verse 2 says it takes 4,700,000 years to complete one orbit, how many orbits have our planet completed? In which OahspeCollegeUniversity now gives a description of that in the book of Sentences chapter 2 verse 29. So the book of Sentences chapter 2 verse 29 says, and the record of the great serpent showed the firmament of Tamir in the third second of Sivwanku, and Dana 24. Now, this is interesting, but it tells you that the earth is in an orbit and it completes a full second, which takes 4,700,000 years. Now, in the book of Sentences chapter 2 verse 29, it just tells you that it was on the third second of Sivwanku. But of course, it's a lot of OahspeCians and faithists here are using this to say that if our world is on the third second of Sivwanku, so our planet has completed 2 seconds. So 2 seconds right there is which is 4,700,000. You times that by 2, you get 9,400,000 years. Yeah, but the question here, really, to be honest, and let's be clear, is where in OahspeCollegeUniversity or in any plate in OahspeCollegeUniversity does OahspeCollegeUniversity talk about the firmament of Tamir? So the question here is that, did OahspeCollegeUniversity describe the firmament? The answer is no. So we don't know what that firmament is. It could be a sub-circuit that's belonging to another larger circuit. So you cannot come and say, oh, since OahspeCollegeUniversity says in the book of Jehovah chapter 7 verse 2 that the earth, it goes through an orbit and it takes 4,700,000 years to complete an orbit. Yeah, OahspeCollegeUniversity is telling you it takes that amount of time to complete an orbit. And in the book of Sentences chapter 7 verse 29 is saying that it has completed 2 orbits, so 2 seconds already, which is 9,000,000 years 400,000 now. But OahspeCollegeUniversity does not clearly say what this filament is. So this filament could be a sub-circuit, right? It could be a larger circuit. We don't know. OahspeCollegeUniversity, the OahspeCollegeUniversity Bible does not talk about this anywhere else. So my conclusion based on this is either the book was not published that talks more about this, or maybe someone took it out and did not publish it because of the volume. But the question that what we know, according to the book of Sentences chapter 2 verse 29 is, which I'm raising the question, is that where else does OahspeCollegeUniversity talk about this firmament of Tamir? Is it shown in the plate or elsewhere? Where else does it talk about it? The answer is OahspeCollegeUniversity doesn't talk about that phenomenon anywhere. So can you clearly give a figure that OahspeCollegeUniversity is saying that our planet is 9 million years old? I cannot comfortably, clearly use this number, because this number is probably talking about another sub-circuit of the firmament, because it's a 10-year in the third circuit of Sivwanku. And those who read the OahspeCollegeUniversity know what a Sivwanku is. That's a great serpent, because it's a core, but it could be a core in a different sub-circuit. So this is where a lot of OAPSI leaders and faithists have made some mistake in the past because they started using that number. But when you clearly read the OAPSI, where, and then there was a Jim Duggan theory that talks about a magnitude equivalent to a sum. But there's no other place in OAPSI that talks about this. And the passage that Jim Duggan, recited was Ham chapter 3, verse 3, where it talks about the magnitude of the seventh. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. A magnet could be anything. You see? So I just wanted to clear the confusion. The challenge was posed to me where, how old our planet is, and does OAPSI give a figure? What OAPSI clearly talks about is that our planet have completed an orbit twice. So if it takes 400 and 700,000 million years to complete one orbit, the OAPSI is saying that our planet have completed 2 orbits, and right now it's in a third circuit of Silver Clue, a third circuit of a great serpent, but with firmament. Wait, where is that? There's no description of that in the OAPSI. Clearly, OAPSI doesn't give any number after that. So it will make sense for OAPSI to give it to you. Maybe they did. And maybe someone took the information out and they didn't publish it. So, I just wanted to clear that out. If you have any other figure that you know of, please post a comment, put a comment. I'm willing to read on it. I'm willing to learn about that. But the OAPSI gives you a clear? No. OAPSI just says that, even in the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 8, it says, millions of years ago, it took up its first vortex. You see? And OAPSI do go through stages, So right now, we're on the second stage. And, but what, in the first stage, how many years was that? And then when I was reading the Jim Duggan's theory, Jim Duggan used a magnitude, and he was trying to pose that using the book of Acts, chapter 3, verse 3. After that, where else? Where does these angels talk about it? These angels didn't talk about it afterward. They didn't give a timeline. The timeline that they gave was that our planet already updated twice, or 2 circuits already was completed, and we can give a figure of that. But can you say clearly? Because what happened in the first stage when our planet was created, we don't have a figure of that. Brothers and sisters, light and peace. Subscribe to my YouTube video. Until next time, see you again.